July 1940. For decades, a dispute has simmered between the United States and Japan in the Pacific. The Japanese see themselves as a superior race, divinely preordained to dominate East Asia. The United States, which holds as territories the islands of Hawaii and the Philippines, believes that Asia, under Japanese dominance, will be as closed to foreign trade as Japan historically has been. Now, in Japan, a new government forms. The cabinet is made up of militant nationalists interested primarily in conquest. Within weeks, the cabinet sets its foreign policy goals: victory in China, expansion of the Japanese empire southward, and a rolling back of American influence in the region. On 27 September, Japan signs what is called the Tripartite Pact with Nazi Germany and Italy. The pact requires no direct assistance to Hitler's aggression in Europe, but the Japanese hope that the threat of global war will intimidate the United States. What the pact does, in fact, is contribute to an anti-Japan backlash in the United States. President Roosevelt extends loans to China so that it might more effectively fight the Japanese invaders, and makes no secret of his willingness to fight to protect American interests in the Philippines. At the same time, in their quest for expansion, the Japanese attempt to extort strategic minerals from the Dutch East Indies. If the East Indies don't pay tribute of oil and aluminum-rich bauxite, Japan will invade the islands. There are those in the Japanese government who believe that an invasion of the East Indies might provoke an American response. The militarists in the cabinet order a large intelligence operation directed against the American Pacific Fleet, designed to track ship movements and capabilities. The diplomatic impasse between the United States and Japan continues, and in January 1941, the commander-in-chief of the Japanese Navy suggests that a preemptive strike on the U.S. fleet at Hawaii might be necessary. The thought of open warfare with the United States is chilling, and Emperor Hirohito, while not vetoing the suggestion, requests that efforts to resolve the nation's differences diplomatically be stepped up. In May 1941, Thailand signs a treaty promising not to ally with any other nation against Japan. By withdrawing as a potential bulwark against Japanese expansion, Thailand opens the door for Japanese occupation of the adjacent southern half of Indochina. Japan does not hesitate. Japanese military preparations for all-out war continue through summer and fall 1941. On 5 November, an imperial conference decides to make a final effort to reach a diplomatic peace with America, but the militarists insist that the negotiations not be drawn out indefinitely. If a settlement on Japanese terms is not reached by 1 December, the conference decides, Japan's military would begin their southern push. This decision to advance toward and presumably into American-held territory carries with it the strong implication that the Japanese will attack the United States closer to home, in Hawaii. On 20 November, the Japanese ambassador in Washington presents the final Japanese peace offer. If the United States ends the trade embargo with Japan, frees Japanese assets in the U.S., supplies the Japanese with oil, and allows the rising sun a free hand to conclude the war in China, the Japanese will withdraw from Indochina and allow free trade in the Dutch East Indies. Though the generals in Tokyo think the proposal reasonable, it is received in Washington with a decided lack of enthusiasm. Though the United States knows from decoded Japanese messages that a rejection of the offer will likely result in an early Japanese attack, the idea of actually assisting the Japanese adventurism in China is sufficiently repugnant that the offer is left to languish. The United States introduces a counter-proposal on 26 November demanding Japanese recognition of the Chinese government of Chiang Kai-shek. On 1 December, as the United States awaits a reply from the Japanese government, The Japanese embassy in Washington receives a chilling message. The diplomats are ordered to burn documents and destroy cryptographic equipment. The diplomats do as they are told, knowing full well what the orders imply about the future of American-Japanese diplomatic relations.